Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we are going to be working and focusing on a mob farm. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today we're going to work on a few things and kind of experiment with some stuff. I want to take this mob farm and make it look really awesome, and also upgrade it and make it almost automated. We should be able to automate this today, no problem. Also, I went ahead and got myself some string. You can do that by planting that hemp, of course, and bone milling it. I did knock down a level or two. We are now, well, we have like 4 levels here of dirt. Eventually this will all change and this dirt will no longer be here because eventually we're going to start working on our base. Probably not this episode. I'm going to get some more stuff done. And then also I went ahead and just put 4 coal generators around here since we could just EMC them. And now I've actually produced like almost 6,000 as I've just been sitting here kind of working on my mob farm and just kind of hanging out. Working on other things, and then in between just going in here and killing some mobs. With that said, I do want to go ahead and open up some of these crates that I ended up getting while doing that. And you can actually hold shift and do an entire stack if you want. So I will hold shift and click, and you can see it unlocks everything that was there. And look at that, we got nature seeds from that. We also got a red chicken, a cocoa chicken, and a yellow chicken from there. Really awesome. And I do believe, yeah, these are all EMCable. Almost everything in here should be able to be EMC'd except for that seed. Super cool. And then this crate, look at that. We got an iron hoe, leather tunic. That is not the greatest reward. It'll do. We got a little bit of EMC. And then this one should be pretty cool. Also, you can click R, or not R on these, U. It'll show you what the chance of the items that are inside. As you can see, we have some pretty good chances of getting some pretty decent stuff. That could really be helpful. At least EMC-wise, or diamonds. Let's see what we get. We got an advanced item collector. I couldn't have asked for anything better, because right now I actually have not gotten an ender pearl. So an advanced item collector is a really good thing early game, and it's going to help with our mob farm. That was completely unexpected. So let's go ahead and jump in here. And then these nature seeds, we can actually go ahead and plant them. Those nature seeds might actually come in handy with some things that you can actually do with them. Also, I wanted to show that this mystical fertilizer you get, you just click it, bam. You also get a replacement seed. This is intentional. As far as I know, I asked Slowpoke about it originally. Are you supposed to get, the seeds out of that? And he said, yeah. He said that's perfectly fine. So I'm like, okay, well, we get bonus seeds, and there we go. Those things are going to grow. They're going to do their thing, and yeah, just let them do their thing. It's going to make some of this essence, and like I said, this stuff can be combined with a few other things later on that is actually be very helpful for us. All right, so now that we have that done, right? Now is when we get into the nitty-gritty, get into some things that we need to get done right away. We have 7,000, we have 7,745, and it's of course growing every few. Once it gets enough power, it'll gain another bit. So we're waiting on those beast coins. But we should be able to buy a few things. One being a drop of evil. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a drop of evil. It may sound crazy, but this is actually the getting started page. So I got my drop of evil. That's going to help us upgrade our farm. I don't know if we really need a bed, nor do we need a worm. I'm not too concerned about the worm, but I'll go ahead and get my tome. All of these things are pretty cheap. That'll be clay, glowstone, grains of infinity. All these things can be EMC'd, which is super nice. I think I got basalt, then andesite, then diorite, granite, limestone, marble, and we already grabbed the quest book. So all this stuff should be able to be dropped in here, EMC'd, and this right here don't put in the EMC table because this actually holds all of the different books that are in the game and allows you to access them. So if you want to switch like to the XNet manual, bam, we have the XNet manual. Hold shift and right click, or shift click and left click, and it'll revert it back to its normal state. If you have it in Lexi Britannia, if you have it in that mode, if you throw this inside while it's activated, inside the portal, it will upgrade it to the tier 2. So it does support that. But yeah, like I said, I don't think, yeah, this doesn't even have an EMC value. So yeah, don't throw it in there. The drop of evil doesn't have an EMC value either. So let's not worry about that either. So we haven't lost too much here. Let's go ahead and scroll down and see what ore we need. We definitely need some tin. We'll take some silver, nickel, lead. We already have iron, gold. We definitely want copper. Coal ore. I think we already have coal, so I don't know if we really need that. Aluminum ore, that might be helpful. Prosperity ore. Prosperity ore is going to be a little bit different on us. And then bedrock. I seen bedrock was here, and that's, you know, we'll see how that works. I know that that is probably the only way you're going to be able to get more grains of infinity if you wanted to automate it. I'm not too concerned. Redstone's a little bit more expensive, but we definitely need that. And we also need quartz ore. I'm just going to go with regular nether quartz ore. You have two different types. Both of these, one of them is based on the overworld, which is Thaumcraft's version. Not too concerned about that. And we'll get some lapis. Diamond ore and emerald ore are going to be two things. We're going to need diamonds. Let's grab that. And I guess emerald. And that's going to push us down pretty low now. And I think we have just about everything else we're going to need. Because everything else should be fine. Well, inferium ore is pretty high up there. I think that's something else that I want to get so we can get into mystical crops. But other than that, everything else here I'm not too concerned about just yet. Later on, we will need to get that. Oh, platinum ore is something else we're going to need as well. So those are a little bit more expensive. And like I said, we'll end up being able to get it once we complete a few quests. First things first, though, we need to just kind of smelt these. Or actually, not smelt them. We need to throw them in here. Let's get these ores just placed in here for right now. And that way we can just pull them out as needed. And diamond is pretty crazy. Look, I mean, the amount of stuff that, you know, it costs to pull these out is kind of crazy. But, I mean, we get what we need out of them. Right? So there we go. There we go. There's our diamond. So yeah, we just need to do this and we can go ore. And we'll just pull out one of each for right now. And I'm going to go ahead and get them cooked up. Get the materials that we need for them. At least some of them are actually materials that need to be broken. But other than that, we should be good. And yeah, we'll have a lot of the early game materials that we need to get started. So I wanted to show this real quick before we tear this farm down. You'll see in here that we have these different things that are making some cool noise. You see T100 here. And I think this one is a D2 RP. These are from Matter Overdrive. And I believe if one of these are carrying a gun, there is a chance that it may drop them. I don't know too much about Matter Overdrive, so that'll be a mod that we're definitely going to learn something about. There's a few mods in here that are like that. That are going to take a little bit of time for me to learn. One of the mods that I'm super interested to get into is one by Iteration Funk. And he's got deep mob learning, which is in here. And I am super excited to kind of test out that deep mob learning, which is supposed to be like a better replacement for Woot. And I think it's wonderful because you don't have to make the ugly structures that Woot has. Like, where Woot, you have to build this nasty, ugly, giant structure and get this insanely overpowered mob farm. Well, in here, you can actually have multiple mob farms of all the different types if you want. And yeah, it kind of gives you some really, really cool stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, getting these loot crates are nice, but later on, you're not really going to need them. Especially once you get far enough into here. But anyways, we're fixing to stop farming this area like this, and it's going to get farmed automatically, which is going to be very, very helpful. So let's go ahead and get that process started. Shouldn't take us too long. But first things first, we really need to tear this down. And to do that, you know, it's not going to be that difficult. As you can see, we can literally just we got to be careful with this when we mine it out. I do still want to keep this platform, even though we are going to change the material that it's made out of. Right, so this is just cobblestone, so we can kind of clear this out. Don't want to do it on here, because that would be bad. And yes, we are not going to go with a normal 2x2 like that, or 2x2x9 is whatever that was. We're going to be changing things up, and our farm is going to look a little bit different. By the way, if you guys are curious, how am I gaining EMC? That's something you guys may be wondering. Let's also open this. Oh, we got some pants, some redstone pants. I am gaining EMC by just placing a bunch of saplings on the ground and farming those, and honestly, you get like per stack of log is like 2,000 EMC. So it's really nice. You can just place down 64 saplings on here using a builder's wand or something, and just farm all that wood. And it's an early way to get a bit of EMC. Later on, EMC is not even going to be an issue at all. So it's just early game is where you kind of struggle just a tiny bit. There's not hardly any grind in this early game of the pack anyways. I just, kind of want to say that. Also, let's go ahead and while we're waiting real quick, I had some people ask, what are the quests here? And kind of want to look at what they are. So these first few quests on this page are just quests to kind of point you in a general direction. Not so much to lead you in a path and take you through a path, but to kind of go, here are some items that you can make, and you'll get rewarded for making them. And then not really giving you a direction to take towards making those. So you can kind of choose wherever you want. But it kind of gives a little bit of direction because you have these chapter sections, and each one of these tabs are considered a chapter for the most part, without this repeatable quest one being there, and the final one. But all of these lead up to the final quest, and I kind of want to go through these, and these may still be subject to change, and I'll show you what has changed through, if anything does change. But as of right now, we have the introduction, and then we have the resource generation expertise, the upgrade mastery, which just has a bunch of upgrades in it, the tools mastery, which of course has some tools that you can strive for, the magical expertise, which of course has all the magic mods. We have, of course, blood magic in here, which is awesome, Botania, and we have Thaumcraft. There's 2 resource storage components into this pack. Of course, we have applied energistics and also refined storage in here. Then we have the different power generation types, and of course, this is not all the different power generation types that you can choose, but there are different types in here. And it just kind of goes over, you get rewarded for certain things. Say you make a rainbow generator, you'll get rewarded. You make a nuclear reactor, you get rewarded. And then you have these other sub-rewards. And I think I would shoot for these sub-rewards. The ones that have this and the sub-reward, those are ones to definitely shoot for, because you can get some really nice stuff to help you out. And also you have your tech page, of course, with a few things in here. Fluid, which you're going to have some fluid quests to complete. So all of these are going to, of course, require you to complete some kind of fluid task. And when we go over with fluids, I'll show you how to turn these in. There is a certain item that you need to use to turn them in. And then, of course, we have the armor stuff, which is really cool because I love this armor. This is my favorite Botania armor in here. And I love that it's not the high tier armor. It's just the Elementium armor. And honestly, that's my favorite looking armor, in my opinion. Then, of course, you have some technology mastery. So some like technical stuff, which this gets us into the matter overdrive, which gets into some weaponry and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Then you have your good old-fashioned late game draconic evolution. You have chickens, and then you also have, which is called resource generation, you have your chickens, hopping bonsai pots, and then also you have your crafting seeds coming from mystical agriculture. Then you have repeatable quests that will give you money based on these different things you see here. So, of course, you have life essence and coolant and things like that you can turn in for more Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, Beast Coin, sorry. And then, of course, these different things also give you some rewards once you complete each chapter. And then for the finale, which isn't completely finished yet because for some reason this the cow recipe has not been set yet. It will be, though. But you need to make these spawn eggs, and then you'll be rewarded the trophy. The spawn eggs are not easy to make. Like, this is a tier 5 blood altar with max blood with a red matter. And like, red matter is going to be the thing that is, involved in most of these. But it is going to require like the late game of a lot of these mods and the late game structure and the late game like empowering and blending and just kind of the late game mechanics of a lot of these mods. Yeah, and that is what you see. That is a lot of chaotic cores. So yeah, and believe me, these awakened cores are not EMCable. Yeah, so you're gonna have to make the awakened cores yourself. The no you matter, we're gonna have to make that. That's gonna be fun. This requires a TARDIS generator. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. The no UU or the actual UU matter, that's gonna be fun as well because UU matter is not that easy to make. You have to have so much power. Yeah, that is a lot of power. So you have to have that. the final star, which is a huge amount of VMC. And you have to have 150k levels, and then also this the beast coins. You need to have a certain amount of them, and you can click this to turn them in. Be careful, if you click this beforehand, it will consume the current balance you have to fulfill that number. So just keep that in mind, that can happen. Also, it's going to require, it's going to give you the llama trophy, and then eventually you're going to get into this portal, and it's going to give you the Tome of Knowledge once you get here, and you're going to go to the Odyssey world, which is what we're going to be striving for. So I hope that it kind of helps you guys understand. I know that took a little bit of time, but believe me, we're going to be getting this mob farm up and running really soon. I just want to kind of cover that for you guys, and hopefully you guys are super hyped for this pack. I don't want to spoil too much just yet, but believe me, the pack is going to be out soon. And if you are watching this, and if you check the links down in the description below, and you're watching this a little bit later, the pack may already be out, so be sure to check. If there is a link down in the description below for this mod pack, that means it is already out, and you can download it. So be sure to check there. As of right now, it'll currently say placeholder, but like I said, if you're watching this later on, it will be just fine. So let's get this and start building it. So far, what I've done is actually just built up a frame here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this up 2, and then we're going to drag this across, just like so. And I'm bringing this up because this floor is actually not going to be the floor in which they are spawning on. It's actually going to be one higher, so I need to make sure that I remember that. And I'm trying to keep a disconnect from our actual grass, because if this stuff spreads onto our main island, oh boy, would it be a nightmare. But I think it would be fixable. It would just be a horrible mess to clean up. I'm also making this so that way later on we can move it. As of right now, there's going to be a little bit of a drop here, which is fine. We're going to have a way to kind of handle that in a little bit. But what I kind of have here is a little bit of a floor. Let's kind of just build this up. This is kind of the bottom section. And this is just going to kind of stretch as we go. And then on the inside, we're going to have our dirt. And of course, I'm just going to leave this regular dirt because it doesn't really matter. Once we hit that drop of evil, all of this is going to change, or at least this is going to change. This will be fine. But this will definitely change, and we're going to get mobs spawning here. And we need a way to kind of handle those mobs, and there's a few different mods that we can use to do that. And there's also a bunch of different like fans and things like that that we can use. So we can use fans, or I think dark utilities is in here. We have not gotten any slime yet. I wonder if slime I know we can get rice seeds, and that's something we can get pretty early on. I was wondering if there's a way to buy that, but it doesn't really look like it now. We don't have that much beast coins, so rice seeds are going to be a little bit expensive, but I think there's something we can make that will make this go by a little bit faster. So if we take a look over here, we do have the mob masher. Now, the mob masher is not the easiest thing in the world to make. It is a little bit expensive. It's going to require like 36,000 to make this thing, and you can kind of justify that by all the iron that's inside of it. But it is going to be one of the better things to use, and this is going to give us a little bit of extra money, so that way we can buy a few things. So iron swords is something we're going to need. We're going to need quite a few of those. I think I already have those made. A few blocks of iron, which is going to be something we're going to need. Blocks of redstone and 3 diamond. So 3 diamond. We're going to need a little bit of redstone. Blocks. There we go. So we have a redstone block. We need swords. And I think we need 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Something like that. Some weird number. And mob... if I can spell correctly, or type correctly. If we go into the mob masher, there we go. We can kind of see all the other stuff we need. Alright, so iron block was one of the other things we needed. And we should be able to nab some iron here. And just make a block of it. Perfect. And that should be most of the stuff we need. Let's just go ahead and throw that in there. Perfect. Alright, let's go ahead and make some of these things. We're definitely going to need a few of these spikes, so that's right, we need a couple more blocks of iron. But believe me, this is well worth it. You can also, if you get lucky, get this in a quest reward. And there we go. We have a mob masher. So, I mean, it was pretty quick, pretty simple to make this thing. And as you can see, we're going to get some beast coins for that. Perfect. Which is going to mean we can now get some rice. Some good old rice seeds. This is a pretty good way of getting it. I don't think there's slime in here. I didn't think it was. So what we can do, just pop in here, throw down some rice, and get ourselves some bone meal. This may all seem, you know, kind of common sense to some, but you know, to some it may not be. So we can throw some rice in here. There we go. Grab a stack of that. You toss those rice seeds in. I know we have kind of a full inventory. Let me kind of sort this a little bit for you guys. All right, and rice seeds can be turned into dough. Right here, rice dough, and that can be turned into other things. So we split that up. You can see there, we'll get some dough. We need a bucket of water. Good old bucket of water. And we just surround this with a bucket of water, and we should get a slime ball. Perfect. We'll throw that in here, take the slime ball, and then we can turn this into normal slime by just making a slime block. And there we go, we have normal slime, just in case a recipe requires it, even though most recipes will just require normal slime. Alright, so let's take a look at these plates. Because these plates are going to be very, very, very good for what we're going to be doing. And that's from Dark Utilities. You have these vector plates. It's going to require some iron and sugar. Now, sugar is something we can also buy, I do believe. And I think we already have bought it. We did, so there we go. So we have slime, sugar, iron, right? And what else was it? Was it just stone? And I think it's regular stone as well. So we can go ahead and make those vector plates, and then those are now EMCable, which is awesome, because we can go ahead and throw that in there, and we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves some vector plates, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and kind of get this thing set up a little bit. Now, this thing doesn't need to be 100% dark, but having it dark is definitely a good thing. So I'm going to place this here, place this mob masher directly on it, and this is where all of our mob drops are going to kind of, you know, be tucked in here. So what I need to do is make sure these vector plates push the mobs into this. And I think you can take damage from the side as well as the front. So all of this works. And so I'm just going to kind of line these up just like so. Pushing mobs into this. As you can see, it does push me as well. If you hold shift on them, it makes it a little bit easier to do this. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of line these up. And I mean, it doesn't take too much to get this to work. Look at that. So yeah, it's going to push us, and it's going to push the mobs directly into here. I am going to leave one of these places open, because I don't think I can reach that. So maybe having this open so I can actually place down the drop of evil, and we're good to go. The only thing we need to do now is close this thing up. But something that would really help with this is going to be some glass. I love dark glass, and I think we should be able to make some dark glass. Now, I don't have actual glass made up, but I really do love this stuff. It's going to require some black dye, thickened glass, which is going to be some glass and sandy glass. So, sand, we can go ahead and cook that up to get ourselves some actual glass. And all this should be, like I said, EMCable as well. Ink sacks, there was a way. I think the dye is actually something we can buy. Black ink egg. So, let's see. I think shimmering mushrooms can be turned into a dye of some kind. Yes, it can, with a mortar and pestle. So, we can go ahead and do that. So that's a stick, just regular old wood, in a bowl. Combine those things together. I didn't know if it had a specific recipe. I guess it does. There we go. We have the mortar and pestle. And this will be kind of helpful because, like I said, that's going to allow us to get some black dye. Also, here's our glass. So we'll take that, we'll combine that with this. And we'll get some of that sandy stuff. Throw that in there. And let that cook up. And like I said, we're going to work on getting that black dye. So let's go ahead and purchase that. Perfect. There we go. And we can turn this now into some kind of floral black powder, which will give us black dye. Awesome. And now we have thickened glass, which is useful in itself. But now we can get these dark glass, and this dark glass is going to be very useful. So I might actually just take the dark glass and just use it for this whole thing. Being able to see into this is super cool. If I can make it over here. There we go. And I can just wand this. Once we get all of this placed in. Try my best not to walk on this. Awesome. If we have enough of this in our inventory, we should be able to just use our wand. And pillar all the way up to the top. Alright. And that's all the way up. Perfect. Last but not least, we need to drop down the drop of evil, get our plate situated the correct way. I'm going to break a couple of these to do that. Let's get our drop of evil. And then we'll figure out exactly what we need to do. So if I place this down, you're going to hear a cool noise. Oh boy. We'll stand here. That's going to place that. Then we can kind of go ahead and fill this in. And voila, all we got to do now is wait for some mobs to spawn and put a roof on this. And guys, we are good to go. We are good to go. All right, so I'm going to throw a bit of this in here. Because with our wood, I think I'm going to go with some more of the dark, but I'm going to go ahead and use this to cap off the top. Just like so. And a good way to get up here, I don't know, bit of wood. And guys, we're going to have ourselves a pretty decent mob farm that is upgradable right from the very start. Which I am super excited for. And being able to filter this thing is not going to be too difficult. So let's go ahead and jump into the filtering part. So everything is now up and running and going good. All you have to do is place the advanced item collector on top of some kind of storage medium. And then I have this set to like 4 for right now. This is not the final setup. So don't just look at this and go, okay, I can do that. That's pretty easy, because this will actually cause some issues later on down the road. This is currently not getting rid of experience. We have no way of bringing in experience. Now, there is a kind of workaround that you can do that will allow you to kind of pick up the experience yourself, I do believe. If we take, let's see, a slab of any kind. Let's just do, I think we have some slabs laying around. Not those slabs. Let's do wood. And yeah, we'll take one of these slabs, for example. And say we break this. I believe if I place that here, we should be able to kind of pull that experience out. No, it is kind of just building up. There is the only other way that I can think to do this is to kind of wait till we get some ender pearls. I don't have an ender pearl yet. You'd be surprised. I have done all of that mining and have yet to get an ender pearl. Which is kind of crazy, and we don't have one in the shop either. But this being here actually keeps it just as dark as it was, so there's no need to even worry about this. Now, skeletons still might be able to shoot you. Like I said, I am waiting for something very specific. And I've yet to get it. Wow, look, there's our slime balls. White floor tiles as well. But yeah, so once we get some endermen spawning in there, that's going to be really nice. I'm going to go ahead and just break this and put this back the way it was. I'll just put a piece of dark glass there. And like I said, eventually we'll get an ender pearl, and that will allow me to make the vacuum hopper. This one, the absorption hopper, sorry, for mob grinding utils. It is going to require, of course, some blaze powder, but blaze powder is not as hard to get as you might think. Of course, getting to the nether is a little bit of a challenge, but getting some blaze powder, I don't even think we might, I don't know if we even need to go to the nether. It all depends. We'll figure it out here shortly. Getting hellish matter is not that hard, and like I said, that's through deep mob learning. It is just going to require a bit of power, though. So all of this should work. Also, Blaze mesh is a little bit difficult to get. Let's see. Yeah, the absorption hoppers are definitely what I want. But like I said, man, I really need to get in here. It looks like we can get some blaze potentially, or one of these potentially from there. Let's see, does blaze also come? Maybe blaze rods? Okay, so they don't come from anything in particular, but the eyes do, which would be good. If we got those through a loot chest, how great would that be? Okay, so this is the organics chest. Oh, nice. Blacker Lotus, Lily, wooden chest transporter, all of which are pretty decent. But this is going to be very helpful, at least right now. So yeah, eventually we need to worry about the experience, but right now I can't really do too much about it. Just be sure that you have some way of gathering that eventually. Maybe walking in there, turning it off, walking in there, picking it up yourself. That's probably going to be the best way to handle this. So yeah, you can turn it back on, I guess, while it's running, just to make sure that stuff doesn't explode. And just walk in and yeah, pick up your experience that's been setting in. So we're almost done with today's episode. I know today was a bit of a longer one, but there's a lot of information that I want to share with you guys. But let's go ahead and complete one other thing that I want to get done, and that is making Obsidian. It should be just as easy as putting some buckets together, and bam, we now have some Obsidian. And Obsidian actually unlocks a lot of stuff for us, surprisingly. So, take a look at Project. A lot of things in Project E are going to require us to have some diamond, glowstone, and EMC. An energy collector MK1 is very, very easy for us to obtain at this point. We just need, like I said, some diamond. And then also, the dark matter is going to require this one. And these are actually used in producing these different relays. And I kind of want to actually make this real quick. So this requires some glowstone. I hope we have enough EMC. Let's see. We have enough for 9. So our EMC is definitely going to be building up with our mob farm here. And these different chests that we're getting. So there we go. Oh, we got some tungsten ore there. That was actually an ore chest, which is kind of cool. So that brings up our EMC value. All of this does. Ender pearls and stuff like that too. But like I said, once we have just enough EMC there, we were barely pushing it. Like, I'm gonna farm some trees and stuff and build up enough EMC, hopefully, that we can actually make one of these. So I'll be right back. Hopefully I have enough, and then I can kind of show you what these things do. Well, guys, I guess we'll have to wait till next episode to see what those things do. Until then, man, oh man, I'm super excited to show you guys what those things do and how it actually functions and produces EMC. Man, oh man, do we have a lot of work ahead of us. But anyways, guys, I hope you are enjoying this Let's Play. If you are, you guys know what to do. Click that thumbs up button if you guys did enjoy it. I want to see us get close to 500 likes on this video if we can do so. That would be super awesome. 500 likes, that sounds like an achievable goal. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next episode. As always, thanks for watching.